Hello, Colorado Realtors. I'm Scott Peterson. Thank you for joining me for another holiday edition of Legal Bites. I've done this for a few years in a row. I think I've been an elf. I've been a bad Santa. This year I'm the abominable snowman. If you can't tell, Bumbles. And here I am looking like, well, I'll let you decide how I look, but this is our holiday edition. Now, when I decided I was going to be the abominable snowman, I realized I didn't actually fully understand what the word abominable means. And so you all are probably sitting there thinking, well, abominable is like some middle-aged heavy guy stuffed into a pair of pajamas right now. And you might be right. You might also be thinking that abominable means it's the definition of a shameless attorney who's willing to do anything for a chuckle from Colorado Realtors. You might be right as well. But I actually looked it up, and abominable actually means, and I was surprised by this, abominable means something that is causing moral revulsion or worthy of causing disgust or hatred, detestable. Now, I think we can all describe this as not abominable. But in the past, that's been the perspective. So here I am hoping to improve the image of abominable snowmen everywhere for generations to come. And also shamelessly seeking a laugh, and also a middle-aged guy stuffed into a pair of pajamas. In any event, there is some content here, folks, as a special holiday treat for you from the Colorado Real Estate Commission. You're going to get, effective January 1st, some brand new forms in the state of Colorado. And I know you're going to blow right through Hanukkah and Christmas gifts, just waiting, drooling to get your new forms on January 1st. That's the real holiday treat for you. I'm just going to talk very briefly about the forms that are coming. I'm not going to get into details because this is the holiday edition of Legal Bites. I think a couple years ago I had some eggnog even with me, so I forget what I said at that point. I don't want to commit any malpractice here. So the new forms that you're getting are some updates to the broker disclosure documents. That's some administrative updates, I would say, acknowledging the brokerage relationships that are potentially available. There's been no change to the brokerage relationships that are available, but the treatment of parties, customer and transaction broker and agent, really, again, more administrative. You'll see some expansion in terms of how you can disclose to a party the relationships through those updates to the brokerage disclosure documents. That'd be the broker disclosure to buyer, seller, tenant, and landlord. Importantly, the exclusive right agreements are the existing forms that have some really substantive changes to it. And so that is the exclusive right to buy, sell, landlord, and tenant. And they are going to contain a number of significant updates to those. And so I would encourage you to get familiar with those early rather than your first listing appointment with a buyer or seller specifically, where you're sitting down and fumbling through a document as you're trying to discuss that with them. So really important that before January 1st, when those become mandatory, you're comfortable and conversant with respect to what's contained in those documents, because there are some pretty important substantive changes. You're going to get a brand new form, and that's the agreement to revive the contract, an agreement to revive contract. It's a one-page form, and it will provide an opportunity for you guys to provide to your clients in the event that for some reason a contract fails or terminates and it really wasn't the party's intention, or maybe they had some second thoughts. And so get some education on that document. It's a simple form, but I think it fills a very important gap that we had in our form volume in the state of Colorado. So I'm excited about that one. Check it out. The bill of sale documents, there's going to be a couple of bill of sales documents that are promulgated. Probably not something that you guys will be using all that much but probably something that your title companies, as they're preparing bills of sales, will hopefully be using in connection with closing documents and personal property related to a real estate sales transaction. So I think there's 2 new bill of sale documents that are being promulgated. I'd avoid those. And then also being promulgated are the statutory deed forms. As many of you guys know, House Bill 1098 was passed by the legislature earlier this year, and now our statutory deed forms, the 4 forms of deed, general, special, bargain and sale, and quitclaim, are now all, they're all, the form of the deed itself, the language in the deed itself, are all now a matter of statute. And so those deed forms are now being promulgated. They are commission-approved forms, and they are appropriate for your use, but let me tell you, please don't use them. I mean, I think it's just generally a bad idea for brokers to be preparing deeds. There were some technical reasons that they needed to be promulgated, but I would really discourage you guys from performing any deed preparation. As you all know, for the vast majority of your transactions, title company is going to be involved in preparing the deeds, and they will be using those statutory deed forms, or an attorney is going to be involved in preparing the deed, and they may be using may be using the equivalent of the statutory deed forms, or maybe something else, but they're authorized to practice law. You guys are on a limited basis authorized to practice law, so you got to be very, very cautious. And I just really can't think of too many scenarios, if any, where a broker would be utilizing one of those new forms, but they are going to be available after January 1st. So keep an eye out for those. That's the new set of documents that are coming for you, mandatory for use after January 1st of this year. And that's the update. I feel like an absolute clown trying to give some form of legal update in a Bumble costume, but at some level it seems appropriate for me. Anyhow, in all candor, happy holidays. I hope you guys have a fantastic end to the year and an outstanding start to the next year. A great holiday season. Take some time to appreciate all the good hard work you do. We certainly appreciate you guys as our members and everything you allow the association to do on your behalf. If you have questions about any of the deed forms I just discussed, or you want to have a little bit more in-depth discussion about the implications of any of those things, the legal hotline is always available for you. And as a best practice, I'd encourage you to go and download these things. There's a link below, I think, this video, and you could go here to this web address and download. Right now, they're up and available, and you can see the red lines. And I think the red lines are the best way to really see the document, see the changes, and fully understand everything that's changing. So those are all available for download on the Division of Real Estate's web page, and the link is here and I think down here. So check those out. We will see you next year on Legal Bites, and can't wait for 2020. It's going to be a fun one, folks. Thanks so much, and happy holidays.